The date was October 16th, 1869. The place was Cardiff, New York, a small town, a quiet town. In the years after the Civil War, America was a land of invention and belief. Science was advancing, but so were strange new faiths. People looked for signs. They searched for proof of what came before. They wanted to connect with a world that felt ancient and mysterious. The air was thick with questions about God, about history, and about the very ground beneath their feet. It was a time of great certainty and of great doubt. On a farm owned by William Stubb Newell, two men were hired for a simple job. Their names were Gideon Emmons and Henry Nichols. They were tasked with digging a well. The autumn air was crisp. The work was hard. Shovel by shovel, they dug into the damp soil behind Newell's barn. The hole grew deeper. 5 feet down, their tools hit something solid. It was not a small rock. It was something large, something unyielding. They began to uncover was not natural stone. It had shape, it had form. The more earth they moved, the more the object revealed itself. It was unlike anything they had ever encountered. The men called for William Newell. He came to the edge of the pit. He peered down into the darkness. The object was massive. It was long and wide. For a moment, there was only the sound of their breathing. Newell knew this was no ordinary find. He understood in that first quiet moment that his life and his farm were about to change. What lay in the hole was a figure. It was the shape of a man, a very large man. Lying on his back, one arm crossed over his stomach, legs slightly bent, as if he died in his sleep, measured over 10 feet in length. It was a giant, a petrified man from a forgotten age, a silent titan pulled from New York soil. The news spread quickly, whispers, neighbor to neighbor. People left farms and chores. They walked to the Newell property. They had to see it for themselves. He put a tent over the pit to protect the discovery and to profit from curiosity. Newell began charging admission. The price, a quarter. Crowds grew larger. The dirt path became a busy road. Newell raised the price to 50 cents. Business boomed. Hundreds paid. They filed into the tent. Peering into the hole, awe, fear, wonder. They saw what they believed was a relic from a lost world. Many believed a man from the Bible, a Nephilim. Others thought an ancestor of the Onondaga. A local doctor declared it the most remarkable object brought to light in America. In the dim tent light, looking down at the stone man, this was not a curiosity. It was evidence. It was history made solid. Truth dug from the earth. As the fame of the Cardiff giant grew, it began to attract a different kind of visitor. Not just farmers and the faithful, but men of science. They were not interested in miracles. They were interested in facts. James Hall, the state geologist of New York, noted the material, a type of gypsum, was soft and soluble in water. He also observed the tool marks. He saw evidence of human craft, not natural petrification. The most definitive scientific blow came from Othniel C. Marsh. He was a paleontologist from Yale University. He publicly denounced the giant as a most decided humbug. Marsh declared it very recent, a fake. But these scientific opinions did little to dampen public enthusiasm. The public preferred the mystery. They preferred the miracle. The farm field curiosity became a major commercial asset. A syndicate of businessmen, led by Syracuse banker David Hannum, bought a 3/4 interest. The price was $30,000. Hannum and his partners made plans to move the giant. They carefully excavated the 3-ton gypsum block and prepared it for travel. The giant was going on tour. The success caught the attention of Phineas T. Barnum. He decided he had to have it. Barnum offered to buy it for $50,000. When they declined to sell, Barnum did what he did best. If he could not buy the original, he would simply make his own. He commissioned a sculptor to create an exact replica. Suddenly, there were two Cardiff giants. A war of words erupted. The owner of a fake ancient man was now indignantly suing the owner of a fake ancient man for calling his fake a fake. As the two showmen battled, a new figure was waiting in the wings. A Binghamton cigar salesman named George Hull. He knew the giant's secret because he was its creator. By December, Binghamton cigar salesman George Hull admitted this was a stone-cold swindle. He gave detailed accounts to the press. While it was a get-rich-quick scheme, Hull, an atheist, was also trying to prove a point about what he considered silly religious stories. He'd commissioned a German stonecutter in Chicago to carve it out of a block of gypsum he'd bought in Iowa. They pounded it with knitting needles to simulate pores. They poured sulfuric acid over it to give the appearance of great age, before he and his cousin Newell buried the 2,090-pound statue. They waited for a year, letting the earth settle. The confession sent shockwaves. David Hannum was humiliated. P.T. Barnum, on the other hand, emerged as a winner. Even after the hoax was revealed, the Cardiff giant still made appearances and money. The story of the hoax was, in its own way, just as compelling as the story of the discovery. He showed up at the 1901 Pan American Exposition in Buffalo, a strange reminder of a more naive time. The giant's journey was far from over. It was sold in 1947 to the Farmers Museum in Cooperstown, where it finally found a permanent home. Today, the giant rests there still. The mystery is gone, replaced by documented history. It is a testament to one man's cynical vision and a nation's profound will to believe. The stone remains, a tangible link to a peculiar and revealing chapter in the American story, waiting for the next person to peer into the pit and contemplate the giant lie.